Perfect. So we'll start off with some questions. And I'll start off with Kailey. Kailey, do you mind telling me just a little bit about your business?
I'm Kailey Michelle, and my company is Kailey Michelle Events, and I'm a boutique wedding planner, and I specialize in full-service wedding planning and styling. My focus is really on helping my couples prepare for not only just a party, but for their marriage. And I want to help them create an event that celebrates the things and the people that matter most to them.
Great, thank you. And David, do you mind telling us a little bit about your business?
Sure, thanks. My name is David, and my company is called Matt Divide Photography. If you haven't figured it out, it is my name spelled backwards. So I specialize in weddings and portraits, but I also do corporate events and commercial photography. But my true passion is weddings. I have a very small team. It's me and my second shooter, and we are rock climbing partners, so we spend a lot of time together. I trust him with my life, he trusts me with his life, and we spend a lot of time outdoors in nature. So that is our inspiration for our work. If you take a look at my photos, they're mostly outdoor portraits, but we do stuff inside as well. And we just really love being outside, and we really focus on that when we connect with our clients.
Perfect, thank you. And of course, Angel.
I feel like you guys all know about Weddingful already. What else is there to say?
Great, we'll actually go to David. David, can you tell us why you like weddings, or what drew you to weddings?
So I have two passions in life. One is photography, the other is creating relationships with people. So weddings are the perfect vessel for me to express myself in those passions. I love, it's weird for a guy to love weddings, but I just love them. Everything from like the dress, the details, the venues, I just love capturing everything about it. And the other thing is just creating those relationships with the clients. I always feel sad at the end of every wedding because I'm like, oh man, that's the end of our journey. Like we can like still hang out and stuff after, right? Like come on, it's not the end, is it? But that's why I love weddings.
Awesome. And Kailey, what about you? What draws you to weddings?
I actually grew up in the industry. My mom was a wedding planner, so I kind of fell into it. And I would say initially, like most females, I love a good love story. I'm obsessed with pretty details, and organization runs through my blood. But through personal experiences and through dealing with my clients, my heart really rests in marriage. Your wedding day, or couple's wedding day, is so much more than a party, and it's just the starting line, because love, true love and adventure waits on the other side of the I do. So that's really my focus and my passion.
Great. So over to you, David. What does telling your story online mean to you?
Well, in the business of wedding photography, it's not really about my story. It's about the story of my couples. So to do that, sorry, what does it mean to me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It means just letting their personality shine through visual storytelling. So if my couples love to hang out at the beach, I take photos of them at the beach, and we do it very well.
Great, thanks. And Kailey, finally over to you. What's the most important thing you do when you tell your story online?
For me, the most important thing is sharing openly and honestly, and being very genuine in my approach. And I'm sure that when I share everything, I don't just share the sparkly good moments, but that I also share the challenging parts, the hard seasons of life, so that my clients can relate to me and know that the things that matter to them truly do matter to me, not just on a surface level, not for a sales pitch, because genuinely I care. Because you'll know as much as I do that you don't care what someone can do or what they say until you know they genuinely care about you.
Great. If you Kailey, if you found success on Google, what was the thing that you believe that got you to the top ranking with Google, and is something you actively do?
There's two things that are really important and have proved very successful for me. Number one is consistently blogging. And I've noticed that a lot of people, they just blog the behind the scenes about their business. That's great, but nobody searches for those things. So be blogging about free resources and tools that are beneficial to your clients, the things they want to know, the questions they're asking. And every once in a while, throwing in something that reaches a wider target audience, like for example, Weddingful was doing a wedding planning checklist. Well, typically that would be something that a planner would provide for their client, so that's going to reach a wider audience. And the second thing is search engine optimization. If you don't know SEO, go and take a course, and if you can afford it, pay somebody to handle it on your behalf, because it will prove very beneficial.
Great, thank you. And Angel, actually, same question. What do you find that you're doing that you have success on Google, and that puts you near the top of the list, and is this something you actively do?
Yeah, so you probably saw a couple of screenshots before with Vancouver Wedding Photographer and the Vancouver Wedding Venue. We work really hard to get on that first page and the first few links. One secret that I have figured out, and I'm sure after tonight it won't be a secret anymore, it's really not a secret, but it's about original, interesting content. So everything that we write, the blog post, the ebook, any interesting campaigns that we do, we really focus on, is this what the brides want, right? And we really work on lower bounce rate, like Mark has described. We used to have 60% bounce rate, now we're at 16%. So that's a huge increase. And also for each one of you, right, the vendor profiles that the brides get to see, it's all original and great content, right? Photo gallery, each one of your photos are optimized for Vancouver Wedding Photography. The packages have original Vancouver Wedding Photography packages. I can't go back to the screenshot, but when we saw the Science World review, it would say 5-star, 2 reviews, price range is $1,800 to $5,450. There are 3 packages, there are 2 brides interacting with her right now, and those are really key to Google, and they really like that. 1, it changes every day, and 2, it's interesting that it's not available anywhere else, and that allowed us to, succeed in the Google ranking, not only in our own pages, but also for the vendor as well.
Fantastic, thanks Angel. One last question for you. Can you tell us your secret when it comes to winning awards?
That secret we won't talk about. When I started Weddingful 4 years ago, it's actually how I met Hootsuite and Unbounce. At my first launch party, many years ago, and there's a video online. That's why I met Ryan, who started Hootsuite, and you guys won the Judges Award, and we won the People's Choice. And then a year later, that's when I met Rick from Unbounce, and we were both just young entrepreneur on stage, pitching a great idea and trying to solve a problem. And that was also where we both won awards as well. I think the key to winning awards are, like Mark said, just be really good at what you do. And I think that comes through in your passion, in your energy, in what you actually deliver, right? And people see that and really recognize it.
Fantastic, thank you. Now, David, one last question for you. What do you do when you pitch your business to potential customers? What are 2 or 3 key things that you always say or do?
So when I meet with my potential clients, they've already found me. They're sitting in front of me because they like what they see. My style matches them, and the number one question I get asked is, why should I choose you over all the other photographers in Vancouver? Or what makes you different? And to answer that, the thing that makes me different from all the other photographers out there is my personality. When you're picking your photographer or videographer or anyone who's going to be handling your wedding day media, that person's going to be with you for the entire day. and that person has to get along with you. You have to like them, and you have to relate with them. They're there for you. That person's going to be there with that extra fancy bridal dress hanger that you forgot to get. You know, they're going to be there with the Tide-to-Go pen, and yeah, that's what sets me apart. But for my personality, if you take a look at my website, my About Me page is not what you typically see from a photographer's About Me site. There's maybe 10 words on there, and the rest of it's photos. They're photos of me doing what I love. So I'm outside climbing. There's pictures of my hands all bleeding and stuff. And it's kind of gross, but it kind of shows my personality. I'm not afraid to show that stuff to the world because that's who I am. And when I'm photographing them, that's who I'm going to be as well. I'm goofy. I like to dress up. I like to eat fried chicken. You know, and I always try to get my couples to add me on Instagram so they can see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Because most of the time, they're usually doing the same thing. And it's awesome because that just really helps us connect. And when we meet, when we have our engagement photos, or when we meet on the wedding day, we have something to talk about. It's like, oh hey, you watched that movie the other day, how was it? It was awesome. Yeah, and that's kind of what sets me apart.
Awesome, thanks. Thanks, David. And Kailey, one last question for you. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to jump in there. We had a little award last year, December, to tell our brides who has the best looking profile. And actually, David won the award for best looking profile. So you guys should check it out. It's on Weddingful. He was really creative, and like he said, he didn't use word to describe himself, and it was just about him. And I think a lot of couples really resonated with that. And even just small details like when he sells a custom invoice on our site, of course that shows up in the newsfeed, and I'm sure you figured it out because he put a beautiful picture of a couple, and then on the corner it says custom invoice. And a lot of brides bring it up to me and go, who's that guy? So yeah, kudos to you for, you really know how to tell your story.
I didn't even know.
Thanks, Angel. And Kailey, same question. When you pitch your business to potential customers, what are 2 or 3 things that you always do or always say?
For me, it's more about what I don't say. I listen more than I speak at my consultations. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is when I do speak, I speak confidently, but I try very hard not to let any pride or arrogance come into my tone and in my manner. So it's being confident about what you can do, but let your demeanor speak for you in your abilities. And, you know, like he said, they're already there, they're already sold on you, so you don't need to take it further. And the last thing that I would say is it's super important that you do not demean or speak ill of other people in the industry. It doesn't matter if it is gossip or if you're simply comparing your business to someone else or if you're name dropping. It all comes across really unprofessional and poorly to your clients, and it actually breaks their trust. So those would be my 3 tips.